couple of minutes on a subject that's close to you as we wrap this up, which is about the idea of succession. I don't know if you want to call it succession because I believe you don't like the word, but truly speaking, India is full of family-led owned companies. Many of them are huge conglomerates in the global space as well, whether it's Tata's, Birla's, Infosys, not family-run as such, but still quite a conglomerate. All of them are going through people troubles, succession troubles. What do you think are the new tenets of dealing with it? Professionalism, getting a professional is better, keeping a family person is better, and the internal CEO is better. What are the various combinations?
Well, we know that from the assessments we've done of other markets, that those companies that promote from within to CEO positions typically have higher sustained performance for those companies than those that recruit outside. If you are able to train and hire from within, you are sending a message throughout the whole organization that those who succeed will advance. But also importantly, every CEO ultimately at the end of the day is shaping the values and standards of an organization and is an agent of cultural change. And to be able to change the culture of an organization, it means fundamentally you have to understand that culture. And that's not something that's easy to graft onto. It's possible, but it's not easy to do so. So someone that comes from within the organization intuitively understands where the organization has come from, but also importantly has enough insight into where the organization needs to go. And that's the secret. Blending the knowledge that comes from legacy and the insight that comes from being forward-thinking. CEOs need to do both to balance the present and the future and to move the organization forward. Proud of its past, but nervous about its future.
Okay, that's interesting. So you're essentially saying the CEOs from outside are not only expensive, but they also don't necessarily deliver as much as internal CEOs might.
That's what the data would show.
That's what the data would show. For example, if you were today advising the Tatas, who have a massive conglomerate, looking, they've been on a hunt for some time, and they've actually come out and said they're not able to find an, appropriate replacement. Would you advise they should go out and look for one, or they should find somebody from within?
Well, I think every organization and its own succession plans have to be very much adjusted to the nature of the organization and the quality of the workforce within. I think the critical point about succession planning is that boards of directors must understand that it is a critical function of the board for them to be pushing succession planning and leadership development. Organizations that have a long-term view of nurturing leaders from within generally have lots of opportunities for promoting people from within into positions of authority. If you just wake up one morning and say, oh my goodness, we have a succession vacuum and we need to fill it, but you haven't been building the pipeline of leaders with a very well-developed leadership development program, then you're more likely to have a problem and have to look outside the organization. And that may well be required in lots of organizations in this process of transition. But healthy, sustainable organizations have a leadership succession planning process which gets them out of this box and allows them to promote from within and ultimately with greater success.
Do you believe that when owners, who are often called promoters in the Indian context, decide to leave a company and essentially step into the garb of what is called chairman emeritus, is that an ideal thing to do? Because at various stages it appears in India that promoters find it very difficult to give up.
To let go.
Yes, to let go. That seems to be an obvious challenge in Indian succession planning.
Yeah, again, it's hard to generalize here, but to the extent that a chairman emeritus helps his or her successor understand what's required to be successful and provides them with guidance, this can be net positive. To the extent that a chairman emeritus still wants to keep his or her hands on the controls, then this ultimately can undermine the ability of the successor to do what's necessary to move the organization forward.
How do employees take the idea of an external head?
Well, I think it very much depends on how the succession is positioned. If employees understand and if the successor is skillful at communicating with employees, that he or she understands what the needs of the organization are going forward and is going to listen to the organization and lead the organization, then he's more likely to be well received. If this organization comes, as they say in Latin, deus ex machina, and just starts with a whole bunch of new ideas that seem to be misaligned with the organization's legacy and culture, then this is a much more difficult breach, immersion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, my final question. Your last book was World Out of Balance. What do you think your next book could be called?
The Great Leap. The working title of the next book is The Great Leap, which is all about what do we need to do to leapfrog over a lot of the problems which seem to be constraining us, to bring both governments and industry to the next level of development.
Yeah, I look forward to that one. Thanks very much.
Thank you.